Alright YouTube, this is the 11th WordPress theme which we are converting from scratch. The specialty of this video is we're using Nav Walker to add the Bootstrap menu. So you see, this is the Bootstrap menu. It has drop down as well, and it has search functionality as well. So many of us have problem of implementing Nav Bar in WordPress. So the thing which is Nav Walker makes very easy to add the Bootstrap menu on the WordPress. So if you want to search something, and this is also working. The next thing, fine. Now if you see, we have added this widget. This widget, if you know, it will be coming from the widget section. So these are the widget section. We'll see how to add this particular widget on this position. We have named it as Sidebar, and we can add our custom widget. So we have added the widget. Now the next thing is, this is the Bootstrap design. How we are going to add Bootstrap design to the WordPress? So that is really simple. What we did is, we just used the WordPress core widget files and modified it. Like if it has UL, then we have added the list group class to it. So if it has li, then we have added list group item, just by modifying the core WordPress file. So you will learn two things. The first one is using the Nav Walker, and the second one is modifying the core widget files. So there is single.php, and there is comment functionality as well. If you wish to comment, it will be commented, and that will be visible over here. That's all about the intro. Now let's get into the I have actual code. Install the WordPress in my system. So I have named the folder as WP 11th WP theme. So I have downloaded the WordPress from the wordpress.com, and if you see, I have placed the folder on the XAMPP htdocs, and this is a zip that I have downloaded, and I have extracted and given the name as 11th theme, and fine, that's it. You just have to initialize the WordPress. Now let's activate our theme. We haven't created any theme yet. So if you get into the appearance, so here we have themes. So in the themes page, we are going to add our custom theme. How are we going to do it? It's really very simple. Now I have opened the folder which is 11th theme on my Visual Studio Code. So inside that we have WP content. Just add inside the themes, just add a new file or new folder and give the name as 11th_ theme. So the minimum requirement is there should be 3 files to show up on the themes page. So the first one is index.php, the second one is style.css, and the third one is the screenshot image. Let's add any screenshot which is available for us. So at present on the desktop I have some images, so we have to check whether it is whether it is PNG or not. Sort by, we should check its details, and let's see where is, yes, it is PNG. Just rename it as screenshot. Just copy the image and paste it in our theme folder which we have created right now. XAMPP htdocs themes WP content themes. Inside WP themes, just paste it. Now this is the minimum requirement. If you refresh, the screenshot will show up. If you click on theme details won't be available. For that, what you have to do is style.css WordPress. So we have some set of comments. Once we include that comments in the style.php, we could see the theme details over here. So that's very straightforward. You just have to use some attribute on the comment of style.css. So these are the attributes: theme name, the URI, author, URI, description. So just to show up, I'm just going to copy paste the same thing and add it into style.css, and if you want, you can give it the theme to the folder name 11th theme. Now that's it. We refresh, so it shows up, it has been shown up. So if you see, the index.php is blank, and we have not activated a theme yet. Let's activate the theme. So the index.php is blank, so we'll get the blank page. So let's add a Bootstrap 4 template from w3school so that we can get some CDNs available easily just by copying. So let's add the Nav Bar from the official website. Just copy this and paste it. Now let's see how does it looks. So let's add this inside container. Fine. Now if you see, we have to remove some values. We have a form element, we have a UL, we don't need this UL, just remove it, and whatever is there inside form, just remove it. So we'll implement this using Nav Walker. So we'll do it in a minute. So far, let's see what are the things we can fix. So let's design our middle content. So let's call that container. Already we are inside container. Let's create card class. Inside card class we have card header, let's give the title as blog post, and then we have card body. Inside card body we'll create a row. Inside row we will create column, call md8, and then call md4. And inside the call md4 we'll loop through the values, and this is a sidebar. So let's first add the sidebar. We have not registered the widget yet on the functions.php, even though we are registering the sidebar. So these two values will register in the functions.php inside the function called register sidebar. Fine. Now let's add the design for post. To loop through the post, we know we have to use if else to check whether there is any post, and if there is any post, then we'll use the while loop to retrieve all the content. So this is it, while loop, and this will be the image and this will be the title. Now let's check how does it looks. So by default we will be just having only one title, so that is working. And let's split these files into header, footer, control. So let's add the php wp underscore head, and let's add wp footer, control and save it as header.php, and save it as footer.php. Let's copy the whole thing just above the body and paste it over here. To call this header we definitely have to use php get underscore header, the same way get footer. So there would be no change, except we would have a top bar, and that's working as we thought. So now if I add post, it will ask there is a section missing. There will be a section missing to upload image. So let's add that section. So for that, what you have to do is you have to create a functions.php. Functions.php, and in the functions.php we have to create a file, create a function. So if you see, we have created a function, and that function we are calling it with the hook called after setup theme. Once this function gets executed, so our function will also get executed it with itself. So inside this function we have added a function called add theme support, and it will add post thumbnail. Now if I save it, and previously there will not be the option of featured image. Once we add this in the functions.php, we should see the featured image. You can see featured section is available. Let's add post 1 and some lorem ipsum text. Just paste it some more time, and we need to add the excerpt lorem 25. Just paste this in the excerpt if required. Let's add the images. We'll add 2 posts. I'll pause this and I'll show you once it's done. So I have added some 3 posts. Now we need to create a categories. So I'm not going to give a specific name, just a common name. Category 1, category 2, category 3, and category 4. Fine. I'll just add this to category 1. Update. Likewise, I have added 3 posts. Now let's see how does it looks on our front page. We haven't written any code, except we just added the content, I believe. So these are titles. So these 3 section has the image. So now on the index.php, we'll check whether if there is an image. So I have just pasted some code. If there is thumbnail, then show the thumbnail with the title and the author name and the excerpt content. If there is no thumbnail, then just show the title on the column 12. So the image is too big, so let's style it. So the image will be shooted inside this class post thumbnail. So let's style that. Inside that we have an image. Let's give the width as 200 pixel and same height as 200 pixel. Just refresh it. I think we have to give important. Exclamatory is missing. That's the reason it shows different color. Nope. Inspect. Let's see the post thumbnail. I think we haven't linked this style sheet in our index.php. It's the header, just link it. Link tag, blog info, which should be written inside PHP. And it's going to be what? Style sheet underscore URL. Just refresh it. Let's see what mistake we did. It should be simple div. That is making problem. That would be making problem. Okay, we'll remove the column. This column. and I have written this column over here, 3 and 9. So to add the sidebar, we'll add it. So instead of 9, we'll give here 3 since it's a sidebar, and this is the main content which will be 9. Now that would work. Let's remove this, where it is coming from. This is it. We'll add this as 12. Now let's check. So inside MD we just had to again add the row, or just let's add the row directly itself, which is over here. The goal is to make this side by side. Fine, that is working. Now instead of 3, let's make this 4, and let's make the other div as 8. Great. So whenever there is no post, if there is no post, so first thing, if there is post, then post thumbnail is there. This is the post thumbnail, and then we have permalink. If I click here, it should get into the single.php, which we haven't created yet, and this title is visible. You see post is visible, and then we have time, date, and the author. Author is coming from here, and the except which we have inserted in the except feed on the backend. And this is the permalink. Just like the post, it will redirect to the single.php. Again, we haven't created yet. So after each row, padding bottom of 5, let's see. Fine. So now let's add the Nav Walker. That's really simple. We just have to register the Nav Bar on the functions.php. Just below here we have a code, register nav menu, and here it is primary, and you can give any name. Let's check the menu section, dashboard. On the appearance there should be now menus, because we have added it on the functions.php. Now let's try to create menu. So if you see, whatever name we have given here, that came here. Just make it active and click on save menu. If you want, just click on create another page. That page will show up. Add new. Let's make some login text. About us, click on publish. Again add new. And we have added some pages. Let's see whether it is available over here. Yes. Add to menu. Let's make this at the bottom. Click on save menu. Now it won't show up. To show up, what you have to do is you have to type on the Google as WP Bootstrap Nav Bar. Just download this file. Where we have gone. This is the file that we need. Just copy it and paste it, save, and just call it as the same file name. You can download it. I'm not downloading it, I'm just copying it. Now we have to call this over here. So now we don't have to worry, everything code is available just below this links. Get template, and get template directory. We'll call the current folder, and then this is the file name which we have pasted it right now. And now we have to add this code on the index.php. So this is the parent, the spaces, close the PHP, and we'll add this nav bar on where we can add the nav bar. It should be on the header.php. So here the theme location is primary, the depth is 2, the container we already have the container, so we'll make the container as false. And you see the container has already the class, this one, collapse, so we don't need this. And it already has the ID, we don't need this. And let's keep it everything same. That is the basic thing we need to have the nav bar, bootstrap nav bar on our website. Now we should see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is working. I think the theme location we have added some other names. It's primary itself. So it is actually working. What we actually need to do is we just have to style it. So the drop down is also working, you see. It is working. Get the list item and give the margin left as 15 pixel. Now on the header, get the ID, and inside the ID we have an li, and let's give the li as margin left as 15 pixel. Great. If you want, again it has an anchor tag inside the li. Make the color as black and make it important so that we can override from this style. So far this is what we need. On the header we have a title, so we'll make this as the name of the title, PHP blog info name. and just add the anchor tag. Site underscore URL. Let's check with the inspect whether it is locating. href 11 theme. No, href is fine. You should see we could get the value using the home URL. Let's have this nav bar inside the container so that we can get some padding around. Great. So now let's work on the sidebar. So here if you see on the appearance there is no name for widget. So to add that, what you have to do is you have to get into the functions.php and you have to add a function. So this is a function that will register the sidebar. So this is the function that is required to register the sidebar on the dashboard, and it has the ID sidebar. If you remember, this ID we have passed on the index.php on the sidebar, and this is the widget. So let's add a card after widget, and then it is going to be the title, then card header, card title, card body. So if you know, we are going to surround the widget inside the card. So before widget and after widget we are adding the closing and opening of card, and before title and after title. Before title we are opening the card header, and we are closing the card header, and after the card title we are closing the card header and opening the card body, and this card body is closed over after widget. So that's self-explanatory. Now let's add the widget, and we are going to modify this widget as well. Widgets, recent post, recent category, recent post, add recent comments, add. Then what are the recent categories? It's not recent category, it's just a categories. Fine, that seems alright. Now if you refresh, fine, it's available. Now let's modify the classes inside it. So we have all in the previous video we have seen how to modify it, so let's dig it in a detailed more way. Alright, now let's work on the modification of these widgets. Like if you, let's create a folder on our themes and call it as widgets, and we need some custom files like which will be available on WP includes widgets, and the three widgets that we have added is categories, recent comment, recent post. Just copy these three and paste it into our widget folder of themes. Themes widget, paste. I think there's a problem. We have downloaded all the files. C, XAMPP, htdocs, Rev11 theme, WP content, themes, widgets, We'll leave as it is, but that's not the right way. So we don't need this. We'll delete all these which are not needed. Shift delete, and we'll call these files over here. Widgets slash the first file name, the first file, the second file, and the third file. If you want, you can open these three files. Actually, it's widgets inside widgets. That's the wrong thing. They should be outside the widgets. Great. Now it says it has been deleted. Inside widgets we have three files. We'll just add the class custom just to differentiate it from the includes file class. So what is happening is, when I get the when I drag and paste the category over here, it will call the categories. So if you see on the UL, which we have already done it on the previous video, we'll add the class list group, but we don't have the proper way of handling the li inside the list. So this we have done it CSS. We have used CSS, but right now we are not going to use CSS. We are going to modify the categories. So for that we have to create a function. So you see, this is a function. I have created a function, and that function will accept the list, and by default it will have a class called cart item. These list item have a class called cart item, and it will replace it with cart item and the bootstrap class list group item. So it will be returned. So whenever we are going to modify the values, we'll use add filter. If you want to add, you will use add action. So modification filter, and for adding it's add action. Fine. Once it is done, we have to register these class just below here, so that our changed what we have changed to reflect on the browser. So for that I have used the same class names, and this function will be called on widget init. And now if you see, list group item will be added on the categories. The same way, let's get into the recent post. Recent post, just find the UL, and add the class list group. It's just a list group, and for the li it's list group item. It's items. Just refresh. Now you should see. Let's check the functions.php whether it is list group. It's a singular word, not a plural word. Just remove it, and now let's check. Fine. Now finally the comment ul it does not have any ul, I believe. It's over here. Class list group. Let's make it inside double quotes. and in the li add list group. It's actually a PHP file, we are modifying it, nothing rocket science here. Great. And now let's modify these page, just control N, so it won't be control N on the, so let's choose any file and make it control N and save it as page.php. So now if you refresh, it would be blank. So get the content from index and paste it here, and instead of the if loop we just need if there is a post, if there is an image, then show the image. And if there is content, show the content. Actually there would be content, so let's have the content php the content. So if you want to show this meta details like who posted these stuffs can be shown over here, just above the content. Now let's delete this is not at all needed now. Refresh it. Actually it's a page, we don't need this. We'll make this title blog info name. It's the title. Actually we'll just add the title, not the blog info. Just refresh it. Fine, it's a contact and we don't need this meta. Refresh it, and now if you see, click on service, click on sample page, click on about, fine, these things are working as we thought. And now we'll work on single.php. So let's copy the whole thing and save it as single.php. Simple. Let's add the class. Refresh it. Let's make this post thumbnail, post page, get the style, inside it as an image. Let's give the width of 100% and let's check. And height as 700 pixel. I'm not getting into the media query. If you want, you can add media query. Its height. Fine. Now let's check the other post. Great. Now let's try to add search bar over here. So Bootstrap for Nav Bar. So I think we have mistakenly removed it. the form section. Let's see where the form, it's over here. We just have to make the method as get. It's over here. Let's make it float right. We'll use that with CSS, no issues. Then we have to give the name yes, and then action. We are going to write some PHP tag. Escape underscore URL, home underscore URL, slash. Now let's try to search post 3. Post 3 is available. If I search post 1, post 1 is available. Let's try to search hello world comment or something like that. Let's search WordPress itself. So these two posts contain the word WordPress. Fine. Now let's see, style this. So get this ID and style it. Since it's a container, it has UL as well as form. So for that we'll use display flex and then justify content space between. And now if you see, it is available at the right side. Now if you want to search anything like this, 3 posts will come. Actually 2 posts is coming, fine, no issues. 2 posts has the content which we have searched for. And now let's just add the comment. So it's really simple. Just below the in the single.php, just below the content, we have to add the function called comments underscore template, and that's it. I'm already logged in as an admin. Click on post and that will be posted, and you should see we shall comment on post 3.